Hey, it looks like it's uploading, so I'm pretty sure we're live.
Hi,
Hey, everyone.
everybody! Welcome to this week's episode of Top Deck Heroes. As always, I'm your host, Sean from Rochester CCG. Hello. We have Kevin Broberg,
Hey.
four-time champion, and Matt Hughes, Star Wars champion.
Star Wars expert.
Star Wars LCG champion.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm jealous of him. He won the first.
Definitely play at Gen Con.
Yeah, he won like the first Worlds event for it.
Did he make like some character that got to throw stormtroopers in front of people whenever he wanted?
No,
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I don't think you get. I don't think you get to make your own thing in that game.
I want to be a Sith whose force power is like pulling stormtroopers out of hammer space and throwing them at people. They're just ragdolls that just fly through the air, tumbling.
So, I think our top story tonight is the Las Vegas stream that happened sometime earlier this week. I think on
Monday night.
Monday night, yeah.
It's like 2 in the morning.
That is far too late for me. Well, they're like 3 hours behind us though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went to like 12:30 or so, and then it was just a bunch of us just talking for an hour or two.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tapped out at 8:30 local, like at at 11 o'clock, like 11:30 EST, which was 8:30 that time.
Yeah.
So with their stream, there was a new spoiler.
It's right here on the side.
It is Quake.
That way.
Dominating.
Can we
So
read the
this is a
card?
card for S-Word Man or Sword Man. For difficulty, Desperation 3, ranged stun 1.
If this card kills you, it's a 2-speed mid. That would be a humiliating defeat.
So one thing that came to mind real quick for me was this card does not have the weapon keyword.
No, it's a ranged card.
Gotta have
Perfect
some
for
mix-ups.
Tamadose.
What I think from the game, what the art is trying to emulate is when you go into the room, there's like these 3 giant stone things, and they like fall on you and run you over and shit.
Ah.
I don't know. I haven't played Mega Man 7 in a long time.
Lies. You probably played like yesterday.
I haven't played Mega Man 7 ever.
Is he in Mega Man 7 or is he in Mega Man 8? Shit. He might even be in Mega Man 8. That's how long it's been. And Mega Man 8's the worst Mega Man game. He's got an interesting effect, I think, on it. He has pitcher momentum, and you can Natali for weapons.
Yeah, I love this effect. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to pick up Leona Blade with it.
So between this ability, Natali, and Mega Man 3 Dot has a similar type ability, where you pitch 4 and you get a card that meets certain criteria. I think it's a pretty cool ability.
Yeah.
It's something I think that can be spread around the game without too many dangers to it.
Yeah, I like how it injects an element of risk. I mean, you're often not going to hit a card with this, even if your deck is like, even if every other attack except for your like 2 or 3 copies of Quake is a weapon, you can still miss fairly often. But it's a good use of your momentum. It's an incredible common. I really love this card. I'm imagining playing draft with this card. It's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or against anyone who doesn't like any character like Goro or Clark or something who doesn't like to block. It just chips away at them and lets you keep refilling your hand and spending the momentum you get from it too. I think it's a really, it's a really balanced card. It does good stuff.
And it's the stun ability on this card lets you ready Sword Man had you previously used it earlier in the turn or even earlier than enhanced step.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it ties back in. Wish it was a weapon though. I think that's the only thing it's missing to have the full package deal. Otherwise, common, it's still doing a lot of work.
Yeah, you can't have everything. Cards have to have drawbacks. It's kind of like
What's Necrodriver's drawback?
It does 3 damage.
3 is not very much.
It also has a terrible block.
Oh yeah, Lunar Catapult's the one that doesn't roll a block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, a reverse shoulder launch doesn't have a block either. That card's got a reversal too.
Yeah.
So overall, what do you guys think of Quake?
It's good for a common.
I'm not necessarily excited about throwing it in every deck I own, or I'm not like building decks around it necessarily. Although with Swordman support, I mean, perhaps I would be interested. Perhaps he's going to have some. I mean, maybe we'll see more cards like Perfect Accuracy, so that you can, if you have 30 hits in your deck and you're playing, 15 weapon attacks, 15 non-weapon cards, then it gets super awesome really fast because you'll almost always find something for your momentum, and that's a great place to be.
If he gets weapon foundations, which we were theorizing about on the stream, that would make this a little bit better.
Well,
Yeah.
Swordman, I think, is going to get a nice push, too, with unrotation happening. Because Swordman does get access to some additional weapon foundations from Satoshi
Yeah.
if he doesn't have many or at all of his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he can pick up perfect accuracies that you flip with it.
Yeah, just hitting Perfect Accuracy and Swift and Nimble even right now, or actually, Superior Assailant, I think gets multiple. You could really build a deck that wants to just stack up momentum from however it's getting it. Just find your ways to get momentum on these symbols. I mean, Sweet Challenge is available, I think, on Life anyway. Not sure what all does for it, but then you
This card
spend
doesn't have
momentum.
life.
Huh?
This card doesn't have life.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
even looking at it.
good job.
Oh, is it Fire Order all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got asterisk symbols.
All right. So I mean, yeah, you just flip over your deck with this, dig through for Superior Assailants. You get those down, and now you have multiple 2 Sagaki offerings and stuff going on. It could be really exciting.
Mhm.
Multiple 1.
You can also use this with you can stack this with Poison Dart and make 2 difficulty actually two speed matter a little more if you really
Yeah.
want to run. And that's another weapon card. I think it's 4 difficulty.
Yeah, this into Poison
really,
Dart sounds pretty nice.
I really wish that this card could pick up shield rams.
I don't.
I'm kind of glad it can't.
You guys are
I'm-
babies.
Hey man, I played a deck that had searching. Like, this card's like searching for family to me. Where like, yeah, you put it in your deck, you played all these like really mediocre kicks, and you're like, how many copies of Harnessing Chaos, Zing, Genesis, Playful Slice, etc. am I gonna play in this deck? Oh, I have these difficult decisions, and I have to like, try to get creative with my answers. And now, like, if I have a deck that's playing this card in Shield Ram, and that deck could well exist. Now I have to think really hard about, how many other ranged cards you're gonna play, how many ranged weapons you can find, if there are any available on the symbol you want. I think
There's
you have
Metal
much more
Blade.
interesting drawbacks and archetypes and blending of them, and generally just a better gameplay.
Isn't Poison Dart a ranged weapon?
Sure is.
That's off of order as that, and off of All in Fire, you can have Metal Blade.
You can also have Omnidirectional Blade Strike.
Because
Yep.
that card's ever been played.
Hey, the UK guys like it. That card's awesome, man. I play it. You play it in your Never mind. I was gonna say you blow up Spiders and Dragons for it, but no, you can't do that. It's a game.
So, as a special treat from Jasco Games, we have a news spoiler for tonight.
Oh,
Ben,
boy.
could you cue up the news spoiler?
Yep. Can I read it?
You may.
All right. We got a 2/5 foundation with Death, Evil, and Water. So, different character. I'm going to assume Wily, considering the artwork. So, we have another Wily, that means, in this set. Holy crap. It's got +3 mid block. Oh, God.
Would you like me
3 difficulty Wily. I got it.
Read the
I'm just-
card.
After this foundation is destroyed, look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it. F destroy. Both players discard 1 random card and draw 1 card. You may add 1 foundation from your hand to your staging area.
Kevin Broberg had a lot of thoughts about this card.
So there's kind of a lot going on in this card, but like it does a lot of little things, and it does like one pretty big thing. And that one pretty big thing is this turns into a foundation from your hand. So actually, we were talking about the Vegas stream earlier. One of the rounds I did see, I think round 2 of that tournament, was Athena versus Felicia, and in that match, Brett Hellman, playing Athena, had a Silent Assassin in the staging area. He plays a Psycho Medley. He enhances the Silent Assassin to rip a card out of his opponent's hand. He enhances with Athena, cheating Silent Assassin into a staging area, and rips another card out of his hand. Then he enhances with Psycho Medley, cheats in a 3rd Silent Assassin. So this card lets you cheat the unique rule by having a second unique card in your hand, activating your destroy effect of the one in play, and then putting it down into your staging area, assuming you get past the random discard first. So that's like the thing to do with this card.
With,
Unquestionable loyalty.
With Dr. Wily 1, This actually puts you up +1 foundation.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty
And
neat.
I think the two other kind of like cool tricksy plays, if you're not in for that, you can also just blow this up for some other effect during your attack turn to try to make sure that you have 5s on top of your deck with that scry effect. Or you can just use it if you run out of attacks. You can blow this up for the form to try to dig for more attacks. You get 2 looks, because before you have to discard one at random and draw a card, then you get to look at the top card first. So you have 2 looks to find like the one last attack to finish them off if they're tapped out or something.
And it's all on a 2/5. I think this for a common, it seems all the little things it can do are very subtle. It's not really
This
like
is
in your face, here's what you do with it.
if this is what a common can do, I want to see what his uncommon foundations could do.
I also like that if you look at the first line of static text, that's kind of reminiscent to some of the old Kazuya cards.
Yeah.
After you destroy it, something cool happens.
Your
Oh,
needs to destroys and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Michael after. I wonder if we'll see another need to destroy.
But this one seems a lot more fair than some of the Kazuya effects.
Yeah, I like how it's not like if you're like thinking in a card advantage kind of scheme where like, well, I have like 6 cards in my hand and 5 cards in play, so that's like 11 cards, and who has most cards in play, who built the most, whatever kind of stuff like that. It's not really worth a card to look at the top card of your deck, but it pays you off in more subtle ways. That information does,
I mean, it pays you off differently at different times.
for sure.
Like if you want to play an attack and you know you need to roll a 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe you blow this up to maybe you're attacking them and you blow this up to double crosser.
Some other cost, yeah.
Yeah, just +1 damage. Well, ooh, let's speak.
another thing that we haven't brought up is it's not including just the uniques trying to cheat them in, but like say you're ready to go off, you have everything, but you really need that Robot Masters in play.
Oh yeah.
Just like, all right, I drew my Robot Masters or my any other random foundations. Improved design. A turn too late. Boom, bam, it's in play.
I mean, you do kind of have to play the lottery though to make sure you don't accidentally discard it.
Oh,
Yeah, but if you're a 7-hander, a 1 and 7,
my
gotta
opponent has
be
a Hanya in play.
Matt Hughes
and
unlucky.
my opponent has a Hanya in play, and I need to get this pity for a traitor into play before I can go off. Oh man, this card's gonna make Kim even better.
This card also, you should know, doesn't have the you could normally play restriction.
No way.
So you can.
I thought they changed the rules so you just couldn't cheat something in anyways.
Not that I remember. I don't think they made that update to the AGR. I think it always specifies that you can normally play.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been pretty in there, and I don't know of anything like that.
So
I
This
could have
card
been just
can
one of
allow
those things I dreamed up.
this card can allow some
Wanted to
really
happen.
funny shenanigans to happen.
Yeah, if you really want to. I think before you can really build a deck with it, you really want to have like 2 or 3 ways to get a card, like 2 or 3 like distinct cards that can put a card in your staging area. But let's say we're playing. This doesn't change with Athena though, does it?
Nope.
No.
It's a death, water, earth, evil rather. That's
Death,
water,
evil, water.
Yeah, that doesn't change with any of the other shenanigans I can think of.
That's a darn shame.
There's 2 other cards I can think of off the top of my head to do that, both in Neomax.
Yeah, it's a darn shame.
And so I think there's one last part of this too, is that it's symmetrical. So both players have to random discard. So if you think your opponent is like being really, I don't want to say clever, but like they think they're being like really like, I don't know, aggressive. Let's say like they play their entire hand except for 1 card. And you're just really sure it's a Templar. You can just be like, well, let's randomly discard and make you draw off the top of your deck and see if that's a Templar too. It's like the old Skull Mana
If it's
effect.
Jeffrey Kahn,
He'll get
it
it.
is.
Jeffrey Kahn doesn't play Templar.
This is true because he refuses to play 7-handers.
If he plays Templar, the deck is too complicated for him. He can't handle it.
Oh wow.
This is why he needs to be Cadenza. It's just like you got 6 cards, Giggles.
Do whatever you want.
Win with it.
Go crazy.
That deck's probably insane in Giggle's hand. He just like plays it. You just like put half foundations, half attacks, and none of the attacks are 3 difficulty. There's all 5s, and he just goes in on every turn. I don't need these. These foundations. Like, turn one.
Draw
capture
6
button.
foundation. Draw 6 foundations. Play 6 foundations. Draw 6 attacks. Check 6 foundations.
Yep.
Next turn, draw 6 attacks.
God,
That means his opponent probably didn't shuffle his deck.
it's Giggles.
No.
It doesn't matter. If you shuffle his deck, his draw is even more perfect.
That's a true story. So
Like,
final...
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Just the last story. We'll just go on with this. I'm pretty sure I watched Kevin shuffle Giggles' deck for like 20 minutes, and then Giggles killed him in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm terrible at shuffling. That's why I complain about it. That's why I do it so much. I'm just bad at it.
Any
Poor
other,
shuffling technique.
Yeah.
any other thoughts on this card?
I like it, and I want to see more of his support.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of his support.
Because Wily was one of my pet decks when Mega Man first came out.
You never built it.
I played it for 2 months.
You should build it again.
I played the Madariko builder one. I mean, the throws are back, so maybe, but
Build it for not next week.
we don't
the
really
week
have a
off.
tournament. Like, we don't have
We-
tournaments for a
we
couple
should
weeks.
just play. I'd like
I'm
to
out of
bring that
town.
in my bag.
I'm out of town
Well, come back.
till
to
I
town.
don't know when.
Come back.
Well, I'm out of town starting tomorrow.
Come
When do you
back.
come back?
I don't know yet.
Oh boy, one of those kinds of trips.
Yep.
Uses on the run from the law.
No. It's one of those. I could be coming back Saturday. I could be coming back Tuesday.
So I really like this foundation. It does a lot of things. Some of them subtle, some of them not so subtle.
Yeah, I really like both of these cards.
Good spoil.
I would like to say I like that Jasco Games is doing more spoils through alternate avenues. Like, they were nice to give us one. They did one on the stream last night. They plan to do another next week,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I want to get home. So that way I want to see if I can somehow get myself into that stream. And since players won't be able to hear me talking, I could sit there and comment on the game for the people watching it.
Uh-oh.
Yo, dude, no, the way you do that is you just you rebroadcast it. So you basically
Yeah,
just
but-
like stream yourself watching the stream.
Yeah, I could do that. But if I want to actually still communicate with the people that are actually there as well,
Okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
like have them set up Skype and then just crop in my face with OBS, or at least my audio.
So, moving on. We have a new segment this week. And it's called Kevin's Top 5.
I like it.
Kevin.
yeah, this- we thought this would be a good idea. You know, just be able to give some easily digested strategy content to the masses, and just because it's fun. You know, it's fun talking about UFS and having, you know, special categories to come up with and rate cards in. And so for our inaugural trip around the, I don't know, our inaugural trip, we're gonna talk about the top 5 finishers of the week.
Finish him.
And so these are cards that kind of like when you're like the game is just dragging on and on. Like these are the kind of cards you want to turn to. If you want to build your deck to just like stare at your opponent and defend for 16 turns, these are the kind of cards that you really want to have to break through whatever wall pieces they might have set up by the end of the game. Although actually, I think you need caught red-handed to get caught red-handed beats most of these right now. So
Yeah.
you'll want to make sure to have answers to that.
Let's go to card number 1, which is Shiranui Ryu Kuniochi no Mai.
Are you starting
Or
at the
just-
top?
Yeah, you start. Matt, you always start at the bottom. Go back to 5.
Well,
Pretend
You
we
mean
didn't
10?
do that.
you mean 10?
Let's
He
let's
gave
just
me
do
10.
5.
Let's just do the top 5.
Ah,
Viewers pretend that
you
didn't happen.
suck.
Have you never
suck.
seen Letterman's top 10?
No, I don't watch television.
Have you never?
Besides, I don't think Shiranui no Mai should be at the top, but start here.
He says these things now. Jesus.
All right, so where are we starting now? Number 5.
Number 5 is Ultimate Undead. So Ultimate Undead has powerful 3 and printed 7 damage. So that alone, you know, puts it in the running. I mean, people have played. I've actually played a deck with Shen's powerful 3, 5 mid for 4 move, just because, you know, late game, maybe you get some momentum, maybe you just want to throw it in someone's face at the end of an attack string. And so that alone makes it a worthy inclusion. It's got a 3 check, that's nice. But really, the meat and potatoes here is the enhance ability, which allows you to discard a card and then draw a card every time you play an attack for the rest of the turn. So if you have 10 cards in your staging area and you're not worried about control checks, this can make it so that you're start with your 7 hand size. Say you start the turn with 4 attacks in your hand. This can turn that you get 3 more draws to try to find more attacks and maybe even string them out even further after that. And for that, I think it earns its place here. And on top of these just universal to everyone features, this card is an absolute terror out of Lord Raptor, who, as he strings out these attacks, these 2 or 3 attacks after he plays Ultimate Undead, he's stacking up +1/+1 to everything after that. And so this can chain into a Hurricane Upper or even just Shield Rams, just poking them with those, and start having those be at unblockable speeds for huge damage.
And you get all your after it's reviewed triggered as well. So if you pitch a Soul Beats, you get to
Puts it
put it
into
right in your
play.
staging area.
You pitch
Justice.
a Black Justice, it's like stun 1, but it also ruins them forever. Yeah, it's real nice.
Yeah.
But
Excuse me. Now that Perfect Accuracy is back, that makes this deck, the deck that you put this in with Raptor, just so much better because you can turn off their caught red-handed, and then
Yeah.
commit your now face down to its effect.
yeah, it's perfect, really. That face down's not going to do very much, but hey, now you got a good use for it.
And remember on Death, you can pitch your Balanced Fighter to this.
Draw 2.
Wah,
All right, so when you guys want to read off number 4?
Cue it
Number
up, Hughes.
4. Tornado Kick 95.
Oh man, so
The one that doesn't lose the caught red-handed.
this is the one of the cards I suggested for the top 5. It's a super great finisher. It's 4 difficulty, 3 check. And when we first look at it, it looks pretty unassuming. 4 mid for 2. Easiest to block, very little damage.
Easiest zone to block, but you build your deck in a certain way, and all of a sudden,
Boo!
Boom!
Nice 10 cards in your card pool.
This card was a menace back when Joe Hill decks were being played.
yeah, this is certainly still a menace with the extended format. But even in standard now, I mean, we've seen a King deck top 8 the last Pro Tour. We've seen, I mean, I won with Athena playing this card in Unquestionable Loyalty cheats.
Mhm.
And just
Jada's.
Jada can use this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he actually top 8 that Pro Tour as well.
Yeah.
And so the sweet thing about Unquestionable Loyalty is that it's got an unbounded damage bonus. So like, conceivably, you can deal 4,000 damage with this card if your opponent has, 1,900 attack cards in their card pool. But you can easily deal your opponent's life total, and that goes hand in hand with bumping the speed up.
And it's still only on a 4 difficulty.
Yeah.
So you could string out a few attacks before this and not have your difficulty be that ridiculous.
I just kind of thought of something, a better definition of what we could have done for finisher.
Oh, go ahead.
A card that your deck is focused towards trying to maximize its potential. Like if you build a Geyser deck, then you want to have specific foundations and other things to actually make sure Geyser goes off.
Spoilers.
Oh, come on! Like,
all right, so
seriously, we're not gonna name it. Like,
I mean, this is definitely a finisher you need to build your deck around. You're not just gonna into a Tornado Kick 95 that's actually worth playing. I mean, you gotta be running things like Unquestionable Loyalty, and shenanigans like that to get the card pool full, so this actually does damage.
If you're not running cards like that, but if you're not running cards like that, then your plan is, gee, I hope my opponent blocks all my other attacks. So that way I can get minor damage on this one.
That's the thing I really like about this card, is that it puts your opponent, before you even put it on the table, if your opponent, you can get in their head and put them into a no-win scenario where they're like, oh, if I block this Head Crush, this card's great with Head Crush, by the way. If I block this Head Crush, they're just going to get the damage back on the Tornado Kick that I won't be able to block then either. And no-win scenarios are always fun.
Yeah, I really like this card. You definitely have to put more effort into building your deck around it, more so than I think Ultimate Undead. I think Ultimate Undead just fits into a lot more scenarios than Tornado Kick 95.
I think a lot of decks on any of those symbols really can just you can just play one Ultimate Undead, and you're not going to draw that often, but you're going to draw in a higher percentage of the games where it goes until turn 6 or 7. You had a lot of time to just draw and filter out your hand and build a big staging area to support it. Whereas a Lord Raptor deck might play 4 because it's a centerpiece of his strategy.
So, Kevin, before we move on, the Twitch chat has a very important question for you,
Oh yeah.
and for you, Sean.
Uh-oh.
When can they purchase the Kevin Broberg playmat on Rochester CCG?
I don't know. I feel like that item belongs best as a one of a kind.
I disagree. I think that I should. I would. I welcome my disciples. Is that? I welcome the apostles to spread the good word, the good face, the good whatever you want to like, the good playmat of Kevin Broberg. And so I think we should. I mean, if people want to give us money for it, I think we should absolutely accept.
Fair enough. We'll have to think about it. All right.
Worst comes to worst, we could just post the image and be like, "Here you go."
Make your own playmats.
No, we can't. We have better
Alright.
customer service than that. So, demoted to number 3 because he spoiled it. Trinity Geyser on the
No,
top
they're
five
in
deck.
order. They're in order.
Not anymore. Trinity Geyser. So, as you were saying, this you get rewarded for building your deck around Trinity Geyser a little bit, but it's one of the best cards just for breaking open any kind of stalemate, because you're gonna draw 3 cards. You're gonna get a big stun, a huge amount of damage for 1 card. Just printed 8 is enormous, and you get to draw 3 cards and then cheat progressive difficulty for your next 3 attacks.
The character I think right now that takes the best advantage of this card is by a mile the Yellow Devil,
Yellow Devil's a champ with this card.
because he gets rewarded for having foundations in his card pool.
Yeah, Yellow Devil plays this card, and it's kind of the same sort of thing as Tornado Kick, where it doesn't where Tornado Kick, it's 1 speed for everything, so now you can't block anymore. Yellow Devil just guarantees it's gonna stun your staging area out. You're not gonna have a staging area anymore, and so you're gonna need a +1 or +0 to block this Trinity Geyser at all, because it starts at 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and between Yellow Devil and a comboed Geyser, with the combo set up, that's stun 4.
Stun 4. Yep.
And plus 2 more damage, so it becomes a 4 mid for 10 with Yellow Devil's ability.
Excuse me.
That being said, this card is extremely vulnerable right now in this format.
Yeah.
It absolutely is, and I think that's part of the reason why I think that it makes such a good. It's a card you don't necessarily want to build your deck entirely around. So, because it's so vulnerable, it can be attacked from a lot of different angles. You can get revoked. You can get your opponent can have a Skull Barrier sitting in their card pool, and now you're going to go through all this difficulty and get nothing out of it.
You get Kapoken, revoked, caught red-handed.
Yeah, and so I think it fits very well in a lot of decks. If you either want to just play it as a stun attack, as kind of a little chasm buster with the possibility of so much more, or as a dedicated finisher kind of role, but you don't need to play a ton of them. It's just for the games where games are kind of stalled out. You want to figure out how to finish it.
Yeah.
I feel like All in Good have enough tools in their toolbox that just having that in there as a threat lets you do other things with moves that aren't finishers, your little pokes or something that kind of softens them up a little bit with a Shoryudan or a Kuga.
Yeah.
I really like.
If you know that my deck contains Trinity Geysers and I play a Lunar Catapult, are you really going to flip to stop it? Flip that Kapoken training? Or are you going to let me chip you out?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, other than some vulnerability, this is another example of just something that lets you get up and over.
Yep. This card's very solid. I do want to bring up, though, that since we named all those answers to it, this card's a little bit overhyped.
It absolutely is not. There's no reason why it shouldn't be $66 at Rochester CCG.
In stock?
Non-stock.
Oh.
I do have one coming in.
Oh, good.
So that's pretty exciting.
I think that's the perfect number, to be honest. I think you should play 1 Trinity Geyser until Sean gets more in stock. But I mean, 1 is a legitimate number because it does have a very high difficulty. It's not great unless you're a character like Yellow Devil or Mature or someone else who can cheat on the 9 difficulty a little bit.
It's also a 2-check.
It is a 2-check, and mid zone just sucks. Like if you run, I've played against Yellow Devil decks before, and he would Geyser combo me, and I would block with Ever Hopeful and put it in my staging area, and then he would play one other attack, and I would block with Templar, and then he would play another attack, and I would block that one too, and I was nowhere near dead after a Geyser combo. It's not necessarily enough all on its own if that's all you got going on.
Well, I think that being said, with any of these finishers, aside from the next one, I don't think there's a finisher that just can win by itself. I mean,
Yeah.
you still got to be attacking. You still got to be putting pressure on your opponent. Which I guess we should probably talk about the next one, which doesn't quite fit the same grain as the rest of these.
Boop.
Navus.
The card that I most incorrectly evaluated ever in my UFS career.
Really?
I thought this card was boring.
This
And-
card gets better and better every time we release cards or unrotate cards.
Yep.
So overall, it's a pretty good card. 5 difficulty, 2 mid for 6 with a 3 check. I mean, it seems very bland at first look.
Yeah. The biggest problem with this card is just if your opponent blocks it. But
you could make this particular attack, you could make just a gigantic attack with relatively little effort.
yeah, you can make this thing profoundly huge, especially with a few of especially if you're playing an air deck. There's a few cards that have effects that are playable while committed, or does it incidentally add damage?
And there's a lot of abilities on air that are just free.
Yeah.
You don't even have to pay a cost. And with it being a reversal on top of that, it could put your opponent in a really difficult situation where they have to choose to expend resources to stop your enhance, especially the speed enhance, or they have to commit a ton of resources to prevent themselves from taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting plays with Navos is where you actually just lead off of the turn with it and force your opponent to play, E-commit abilities just to stop you from getting enough damage on it, or stop adding the speed or whatever. And
And this card just can get to potato damage pretty easily.
yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest factors here is again the kind of the threat where if you play, just some normal, maybe you speed pump a move, put it at like I play like a 7, like I play a Flying Fortress Buster, let's say I'm playing an evil deck, and I make it a 7 speed high. Do you really want to block it? Because if you do, now you're going to run out of enhances you're going to have to commit cards to pass that block. You're going to run out of enhances to find Navos.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like Tornado Kick, this card starts putting its footprint on the game well in advance.
And this attack gets even better if you get into Desperation, because it's not only is it it's a reversal that can do potato damage. Now it only costs 3.
Yeah, kind of the opposite situation as Trinity Geyser, where it really fits in at the end of your attack string very well. But if you play a really long attack string and you have to commit your staging area down, that's less enhances you have. So there is still a bit of a trade-off there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean trade-offs are good. They make the game more interesting.
I mean, this card's really good. I think if the game goes too long, your opponent just decides to go in, and you put them in that situation of, well, do I commit resources to not get beat up bad by this, or do I take it and then hope I can get through?
Yeah, and this card's, just to point out, this card is absolutely incredible with any stun effects, any things that add stun, which there aren't very many of, but on Death now you actually have Into the Sunset plus Team Yagami. So, those are free enhances you get to play that also eat up your opponent's staging area to make it both harder to block, and they have less enhances to play because you tap them down. Matt, do you have any thoughts on Navos?
You've gone over a lot of them. I mean, again, I misevaluated this card when it first came out. I really liked the +1 high block. That was the one thing it's the one reason why I ran it at the beginning, that it was a +1 high block and you could just randomly smash people in the face on the opponent's turns.
Yeah.
But I guess when I was playing when I first came out, everyone else always had so many enhances that I could never get the speed part to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's getting the speed part to happen. It's not common. You can usually stop it.
And I didn't play it with a character like Garrett or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters that characters especially right now that have freeze on them.
Yeah, if you're like, for example, if you're tapped out against Felicia, Navos is a 6 mid for 10, or a 9 mid for 10 if she's got 2 momentum going, and that makes it really incredible actually for just backswinging people. Where if they go in on you and you manage to survive, you can. It doesn't matter. Like if you hold on that one Navos, you can draw very poorly and still finish the game off against your tapped out opponent.
Doesn't this card also combo with Up Smash?
Oh yeah, Up Smash is one of the cards that probably could have been on this list. We thought it didn't quite deal enough damage all on its own, but it's really great for closing out a game against a really clogged up staging area. You can knock out their powerful assassins or their This is Hien Shippu Ryujin Kyaku, by the way, guys. Discard one time, both players destroy two of each other's foundations. It turns into a 4 high for 9. For only a 5 difficulty and a combo kick.
We call it up smash in Rochester.
We call it up smash.
A lot of people call it up smash.
Well,
Speaking of, there's a lot of smash on the stream on Monday
I think
night.
Devin actually coined it, and it was part of the Wamo combo, and Navos was up smash. I'm not sure, though. And this card just looks more like up smash.
So if anybody on the stream's looking to part with their Navoses, looks like Hungry Nerd is looking for one. And RochesterCCG.com is also very happy to take in your Navoses.
Yeah, 20% trade-in store credit, and there's a very generous buy price. If you want cash as well, just turn those cards right around. We will be thrilled to hook you up with whatever you need.
And so, Matt, why don't we queue up the number 1?
Oh, look at that big surprise! Oh, totally wasn't that. The card we revealed earlier, Shiranui no Mai.
So, like one of the criteria for finisher attacks, I think, is that, well, if you have a lot of you kind of need some specific resources to make it work, momentum, a lot of foundations, but they have to pay you off either with a ton of damage, or helping you with progressive difficulty, or with helping you draw more attacks.
This is all of those things.
This thing does all of those things better than almost any other card in the entire game. So this card is one of the very few ways to clear your card pool while also drawing a large number of cards. And so Trinity Geyser is kind of like a Shiranui no Mai that's only ever set for 3, if you look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Shiranui no Mai, though, can draw a lot more cards than that. And you can just have the unending attack turn that just goes on forever, and your opponent just eventually collapses under the accumulated weight of all of the orange you've dropped on their face.
Skullman used to have really good no Mais.
Skullman, yeah.
Oh god, yeah. In fact, his interaction with Shiranui no Mai, I think, is the big reason that got him banned. And I agree with it.
It's not that simple. I don't think
it's not that simple. Like he's just also a character that gets better as there's a larger card pool.
Yeah, he certainly fit very, very well with this card, though, because if your deck is like 1/3 attacks, you'll draw an attack like 60 or 70% of the time or something like that. And so if you start the turn with 2 attacks and a no Mai, the first 2 attacks are probably going to draw you a 3rd attack. The no Mai you're going to play the no Mai with no progressive. You're going to draw 4 cards. You're going to draw 4 more cards on the no Mai and the 3rd attack. That's 8 more cards to find more attacks to go with. Maybe you'll find another no Mai and another momentum during those 8 more cards, and all of the extra cards you're drawing off of those too.
Now, one of the things I really like about this attack, especially if you're playing a 7-hander, is you do get to play your 4th attack that you attempt to play with no progressive difficulty. So lately I've been playing Beat Mai, and more often than not, I don't get to use the static on here because 6 hand size drawing 4 attacks is kind of tricky.
You need to be very lucky before that happens, really.
But unless you're Skullman, we're just naming.
A normal 6 hand sizer has difficulty guaranteeing 4 attacks in your hand. And with the format right now, with foundations still being very good, if you just decide to sit on this thing and wait till you have 4 attacks, you're probably going to lose the game.
Yeah, especially if it's all too common where you'll sit on 3 attacks. Your opponent will play a little slap attack to see what you got. You'll just eat it without thinking about it, and they're like, "Oh, he's holding on to attack. He's not gonna block." So they'll poke you one or two more times after that, then build up, and then you'll draw for your turn, and you'll get just a little bit unlucky and draw 3 foundations in your deck. That's maybe like 1/3 attacks. It's not that unlikely to just draw 3 foundations in that situation, and you'll just feel terrible.
So this card, though, I think suffers from a lot of the troubles that Trinity Geyser does. It's very vulnerable. It's vulnerable to all the same tricks. Vulnerable to caught red-handed.
Well, it's almost it doesn't care so much about Kapoken training specifically.
Yeah, I always forget it's for some reason. I think because of the 4th card thing, I always think it has combo and it just doesn't.
Yeah, you lose the stun.
Yeah, so it is still vulnerable. There's some effects that are really annoying for it. Though I'd really like someone to train by the streets me when I play that enhanced.
Yeah, it's kind of awkwardly people don't do that too many times before they catch on. It's not a good idea.
I don't. There aren't that many ways off of water though to snipe away those car red-handeds that I can think of. I mean, you can ever hopeful them.
Yeah, it's got like Champion of Justice.
You can
It's not deep on them though.
you can lead off with like a venom shot and make that super big and super fast if you're able to, and then your opponent may have to commit there.
If they're at desperation, if you're at desperation, you can use Into the Sunset now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That card's legit.
One card that's like kind of like subtly very very good, and I don't know if everyone kind of plays it a lot, but it's quite good, especially against the like fourth attack mode of this. Is Pull the Magijin. So if they play it as like let's say they're going to try to like go for the gusto and go for the real win, and so they go like move. You're a water deck, and you play like 3 foundations, and you go no Maya on the 5. Progressive. And you're going to draw 7 cards if you get to do the enhance, but then they pull the Magijin and make you put it back in your hand, so you have to replay it, but now you're playing it on full progressive and you're going to fail.
Or you're going to commit lots of foundations.
A lot of foundations, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this feels like the most impactful out of our top 5.
Yeah, this card is the Wallbuster. You just attack forever.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys out in Spectator Land think we missed a finisher, go ahead and comment at facebook.com/RochesterCCG and put us in our place. Tell us what we missed. Anything but Rain Flush.
Where you? Ignore these peons.
Yeah, this is a list of finishers, cards you put in your deck to really close out the games that have gone on for too long. It's not quite so much about the Chasm Busters or the Rain Flushes, the attacks that, while they may deal a lot of damage, or they may have a lot of really good properties that help you win, you just they're kind of your bread and butter. Actually, Ice Slash is one that was really, that we may have missed, I think we talked about it a little bit. I think it's a little bit of it's a strong card for sure.
Yeah. It's one of those ones that's good, and it definitely fits what we're saying as a finisher, but it's not really that good right now. Like, no one really plays it, because water, you have other options.
Water has lots of great options.
And then All in Evil are...
I think it's a great card for all, actually. Yeah. You have motivation to get the momentum pretty quickly. You have a lot of range card support that it fits right into. It's got a great block, which all high block situation is fantastic. And you get to play 200 below 0 to help with control checks too.
Does roll a 2.
That is true.
It competes with a lot of similarly effective cards that may or may not that have other attributes as well.
I think that's what it is. All decks usually they want a geyser, and that fills up their 2 slot.
No one builds all. Like I think all is a dramatically underexplored symbol right now.
I agree.
Everyone's playing Ryu, or they're playing Trinity Geyser,
or Rain Flush.
Just like trash Trinity Geyser decks.
People play all Ryu. I guess all those cards do have all as well.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Oh. Can't play Rain Flush though.
We were reminded in the chat that Ice Slasher does let you loot for 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost wanted to put the Ice Slasher in kind of the big poke category, where like you put it in your deck, not so much to like break through a stalemated board, but kind of just as a move that has good damage and also good utility. And I think that's really where Rain Flush or like Sagaki Offering, I think, is another one that kind of fits in that category, where it's big, but you can just kind of play it for value too. I think that's kind of a separate thing that we're going for with this category.
Also has that coveted 1 high block.
Yeah, 1 high blocks are hot.
They're really good.
Blocks Piercing Howl for days. Oh wait.
Everyone knows Throw It Down's the best high block.
I need to build like some all Joe decks or some Jiffany Jamber decks. Just like 4 Throw It Down, quite like 56 other cards. I love Throw It Down so much.
So Kevin, what is your top 5 going to be for next week?
Throw It Down Zing. Throw It Down Zing's back.
Throw It Down Lunar Catapult's back. Throw It Down Magnet Slam is back.
Oh,
what a country.
That
is. All right, so next week, let's do top 5 special blocks.
Special blocks?
Yeah, cards that do something when you block with them.
Okay, so...
What do you think?
That I think will be pretty easy for us to come up with the list.
I think we might
Yeah, I
all
think-
agree on it.
I think it might be too short. Actually, I think we should do top 5 underrated somethings. What do you guys like?
Underrated. That
Underrated 2 checks.
I know what Matt Hughes is. Rain Flush.
Underrated rain flushes.
Yeah.
that card's not underrated.
card's
It's underrated by you two.
No, it's like
Everyone
like,
else knows that
people
card
play
is.
decks that don't have Rain Flush in it, so it's underrated, right?
I'm not that insane.
Okay, so next week, underrated 2 checks. Yeah,
Right.
We're not doing
Underrated?
top 5 underrated everything. Like that's like top 35, top 50 underrated cards. We can do
underrated 2 checks.
Yeah. Chat's saying just underrated. Yeah, I think underrated 2 checks is good. We do have to settle on how good they actually are. Like Trinity Geyser, I think is definitely not underrated. I think Trinity Geyser is probably overrated because people get too excited about it. It's too easy to stop. But like, oof, this is a good one. This is a good one.
This would be a good one to think about between now and next week.
I mean, I'm
Maybe
pretty
we should
sure
all
I.
come with our own 5 and see where they overlap.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I mean, I won't have much time to look it up potentially, but
So next week is underrated 2 checks.
all right.
Let's talk about some upcoming events. Not really much in the pipeline right now, I don't think, other than the
Worlds.
World Championship. 3 weeks. I'm sorry, not quite 3 weeks. We leave 3 weeks from today for Las Vegas. But it's actually starting on the 14th through
15th.
the 15th through the 17th.
Yeah, 15 to 17, baby.
So that's pretty exciting. I'm very excited to be going out to Las Vegas again. See the guys from the Vegas crew. I'll be
Good
working
luck
with
to-
Shane and Jason to make sure you guys have a great event.
Good luck to everyone going.
Yeah,
I'm
too
gonna
bad
need
to
it.
all the people who aren't going.
Mm.
Too bad to all the people who could have gone, but can't.
I couldn't have gone even if I kept the voucher.
I'm talking about poor Jesse Cervini. He could have.
Oh yeah, he got
Yeah.
shafted
he
so
got,
hard.
He got screwed so bad.
Just
Like
yeah.
I tried to hold on to my voucher for him for so long. Like it was basically just I'm like, it's going to go to you, Jesse. Just figure this out with work.
Yeah.
And
And then Brooke
Rook-
just
Rook
like,
screwed
yeah,
him.
no, you can. And then, oh, by the way, you could have.
Lol.
Way too late. Yeah.
But for those of you who can't make the Las Vegas World Championship, we do have a special announcement.
We do.
We do.
Special even to me.
Special even to you. This coming May, from the 14th and the 15th, Rochester CCG will be holding its second 2K out at Level Up Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada. So as soon as I get off my keister and get all the information to the guys at Level Up, we'll be up on their website. So if you're in the area, if you just like going to Vegas, that's going to be a fun event to go to. There'll be great prizes. Hopefully we'll do some special promotional materials again.
I think I'll have to fly out and defend my 10th place crown.
So that's something to be very excited about. I'll be there. Probably, hopefully, a couple people from Rochester will be coming out since it's kind of our thing. Also, if you play at a store in the Northeast region and you wish to be part of this year's Empire Circuit, please contact me as soon as possible so we can try to get you a spot. We will be starting the circuit back up here in like March or April, hopefully after all the bad weather's gone.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Or right as
Or if
the
it
bad
shows
weather
up, because it's
begins.
60 degrees right now in Rochester in December.
Nah, Mother Nature's just gonna body slam us in March.
I think this was like last year, right? You know, we're gonna have a week of below zero, like highs below zero in February, and then it'll just be kind of awkward and bad.
I hope not.
Right.
I want it to be. I mean,
I don't want a water pipe bursting in my house again.
well, I don't think they predict a polar vortex this year
I sure hope not.
because that's more shit.
Yeah.
It should
But,
not hurt my face to go outside.
In happier news about the state circuit, we're gonna. Do you want to talk about the tentative plans for the Swiss round schedule?
Yes. So, because Rochester likes to prize split at every tournament, because we always do very well because we're so awesome, we're going to be eliminating single elimination from the Empire Circuit. So what that's going to mean is instead of playing, let's say 12 people show up, instead of playing 4 rounds with a cut to top 4, we're going to play 2 bonus rounds of Swiss and determine the rankings from that. So that everybody gets to play the whole time. Me and Jack Hale don't get to have a 3-hour untimed match because nobody wants that. I don't want that. Jack Hale doesn't want that. Actually, Jack Hale plays Athena now, so that probably wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it would.
So that's a big change for this coming year. This year, we're also going to be giving out 2 plane tickets. The first plane ticket is going to be for whoever comes in first overall in points. And then 2nd through 7th place will be partaking at the last event in a booster draft. Determine who's going to win the final plane ticket. The players who come in 2nd and 3rd overall in points will get a first round bye in this booster draft.
Yep, and it'll be a single elimination bracket from there. So you have to win at least 2 matches.
Hopefully all the places we go to. Yeah, hopefully all the places that we end up getting scheduled to go to are ones I can all go to this year. So I can finally, not just be down 5 points automatically. Because I didn't show up to half of them.
We do drop the lowest ranking.
Yeah, but there's always 3 that I can't make it to. And then I still just barely make it in.
Our tentative stores we're planning to go to at this point are Buffalo, a store in Buffalo, a store in Rochester, a store in Amsterdam, a store in Poughkeepsie, and a store down in the New Jersey area. But Senpai and I are in the planning stages of this.
Right.
Yeah, so make sure if you're anywhere in the northeastern area, talking to you, Scott and Robert, make sure to get in touch with Sean and get on that state circuit schedule.
Ooh, I don't know. Maryland might be just a little too far for some of us.
We've done Hanover before. I think the main criteria we want to ask is that if you're on the state circuit, we ask that you come out and you actually drive out to one of the other events at least once, at least show up, and we'll come down and visit you too.
Mm-hmm. More UFS is better UFS.
Yeah, and it's the best way to learn and grow. I mean, you can play Gutsman and kick everyone's ass with Gutsman, but if you want to get out of that first round of top 8,
wow,
just don't get unlucky. That's really it. Like, it's pretty much the same thing as Swiss. But if you want to win, you got to get more practice with more people.
Oh man, so we have a new surprise segment for the end of our show that we're going to do, where each one of us is going to talk briefly about something that happened in their week that's not UFS related. Surprise! I'll go first. This week I'm very upset. My Buffalo Bills were eliminated from the playoffs officially with their loss last Sunday to the Washington Redskins. This year we were running a promotion where if the Bills won, our customers would get a discount, and unfortunately my team just hasn't performed for you guys.
You know what discount we should consider? We should have considered.
What?
Is for every,
loss?
let's say 10 yards in penalties.
You get a percentage off. Well, good thing my team's not the Carolina Panthers. I would have given away a lot of discounts this season.
Yeah.
So, as Buffalo,
we should raffle off a Cam Newton if they have an undefeated season.
Huh? We
should raffle off a Maximal Laser if they have an undefeated season.
Well, as we always say, better luck next year. Kevin, what do you got for non-UFS related stuff this week?
I went to see Star Wars during work hours, and then walked back to my office and had a holiday party.
Did you see Star Wars drunk?
No. I should have. At work. So I got into work. I had a meeting. I left work to go to Star Wars. Came back and had a holiday party. Had some hard cider and a whole bunch of cheesecake and cookies and stuff.
What about you, Hughes? What non-UFS thing would you like to report this week?
I could talk a lot about Star Wars, but there could be people. Yep. There could be people that haven't seen it yet.
We're seeing it tomorrow night, Sean O'Brien.
We are seeing it tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm upset. You guys choose to go when I'm leaving.
Sorry.
I want to go again, but I want to go on my own.
Do you want to go see it at I don't know. I'm gonna
AMC?
go see it in IMAX soon.
I do want to see that at some point because I want to pick up at least one of the weeks of the posters that they're giving away.
Oh.
But what I will talk about is I got BattleCon in the mail this week.
Ooh, that's
And-
exciting.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing a review about this for UFS players. I got sent the promo Natalie and Vincent Gray, so we're going to do the demo video with those two characters. It's a really fun game, and I'm going to have some interviews with some other UFS players that have already picked up the game and see what they think about it.
And now, is that game out for people to buy already, or is it going to be coming out soon?
Yeah, this is already out. This is actually the remake of their original version of it that they made,
Mhm.
where it has all the awesome new art, like the art that's coming out in the UFS Indian set. And then they have two other main expansions that adds one of them adds like 30 characters, and another one adds like 18. And then they have a bunch of other expansions for different modes and whatnot. It has so much stuff. But this box alone, the original base game, could give you hundreds of hours of gameplay with all the different game characters that are in it and all the different matchups.
And guess which
It's a
website?
fun game.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, guess which website doesn't carry this yet, but probably should.
Rochester CCG.
Rochester CCG. Oh man.
It's a
So,
fun game.
when are you going to be demoing that to us?
To you guys, hopefully sometime when I get back. I'm just gonna do a couple of demos, record a few, and then do some interviews. I'm hoping to have it up by New Year's. Probably won't though because I'm gonna be gone for half of next week.
No, that's too bad.
So probably sometime the week after New Year's.
Alrighty.
It'll be up all over the place. It'll be on Rochester CCG. It'll be on Total Justice Gaming. It'll be on Board Game Geek.
Very nice.
Be everywhere.
So we'll see that here in a couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll get that in stock pretty soon. From all of us, I'm sure we're going to wish you a happy holiday, depending on what holiday you choose to celebrate or not celebrate.
Merry Sithmas.
I believe Festivus started yesterday.
Yep, the Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us. Kevin has no
Do we have any?
anything about.
Do we have any grievances that we need to air?
Let's do that off air. All right, guys, enjoy your holiday. We'll see you